The problem with this president is he literally wants to do what is called, you want to have your cake and eat it too. So he wants to appoint Professor Kachalia, but he wants to save Minister Mchunu and not dismiss him. Rightly or wrongly, and I'm not even there. That's really, this whole maneuver is about that. How do I save my friend and close political ally, give him a salary for the next 3 years, 5 years, God knows for how long, while he's doing nothing, but keeps the bodyguards, the drivers, and all those things, and the title, but at the same time, I have someone who must look after the police. So then you think of this long, elaborate contrivance. But the law is very clear. You must do one or the other. If you want Professor Kachalia, then you must dismiss Professor, yeah, maybe, maybe that's where he should be, not in the academia. So it's very easy, Justice Plant. It's very easy. You want Professor Kachalia, then you must dismiss Minister Mchunu. Conversely, if you look at it through the eyes of Section 98, you want someone to act in the place of Minister Mchunu, then you must get someone from the cabinet. It's really simple. And surely, one of the purposes of the constitutional drafters was to save the money of the long-suffering taxpayer. So that when there's an acting minister, you take from the existing ministers. So nobody else, they don't have to be sworn in again. They don't have to get another salary. They don't have to get another bodyguard and all the things that go with it. That surely must have been the purpose of that section. But no, you want to breach it and get somebody else who's going to have their own bodyguards, their own salary, and so on and so on. So the president is very simple. He must choose. He can't have it both ways. You can't breach 91.3c by, or rather abuse 91.3c by all these gymnastics that we see now of saying, no, he's not really acting, but he's a minister, and I don't even know how to explain the kinds of things that are written here. Because you don't need those gymnastics. It's very simple. You have a right to get anybody, a professor or an accountant or whatever you like, but you must only do that when you are appointing the yes. So that, with the greatest respect, that is that case is non-existent on the other side.
My last question for now, Mr. Mpofu. Could he have maybe, in order to comply with Section 91.3c,
yes,
when he was making the appointment, the announcement said, I'm appointing Professor Kachalia as a minister, and I'm allowed in terms of Section 91.3c to appoint someone from outside as a minister. And then later on, after Professor Kachalia has been appointed as a minister, he's now a member of cabinet, then appoint him as an acting minister, as an
acting minister
of
police.
Of
I get
police.
the question.
Yes.
No. You see, that would be another contrivance. Because remember, Section 92.1 says that the president appoints deputy, 91.2, sorry, appoints deputy and president and ministers, assigns their powers and functions, and may dismiss them. Let's put aside the issue of dismissing for now. So you can't have what in Britain is called minister without portfolio. We don't have that regime because of that section. And in the course of the gymnastics, this was tried in the public domain, but it was soon abandoned wisely. Because when they were trying to backpedal now and try and stop the obvious problem, fortunately it was abandoned. Well, not exactly. There's some undercurrent in these papers where they try to sneak it, but not boldly enough, because it would be illegal. But Justice, let me go back to your first question. The first question that you asked is, again, and I say this genuinely, I'm disappointed that the president can try and do this, really, or any president. The president told this nation the following. I'm reading from page 39. In order for the commission to execute its functions effectively, I have decided to put Minister Senzo Mchunu on leave of absence with immediate effect. Then he says, I have decided to appoint Professor Firoz Kachalia as acting Minister of Police. What is so difficult about that? It's a simpler, I have decided. In English grammar, it's called the past perfect sense. Okay? I have decided. It's not I'm going to decide, or I have decided to appoint him as acting minister, not as minister, and that goes to your second question, Justice Mchunu. As acting Minister of Police. It's as clear as mud. So you can't backpedal when the problems have now been shown up. You start now coming with all these things that we hear. And if you think that's nitpicking, look at this. He then says, I am appointing Professor Kachalia in terms of section 91(3)(c). Okay? So again, it's very clear. That one is called the continuous present tense. Okay? And then, just so that we know that he is not, his grammar is not a problem of grammar. He says in the next paragraph, I will appoint an acting minister from within the cabinet until Professor Kachalia takes up his post at the beginning of August. That one is called the future tense. So that means he knows that he will appoint Minister. Now, where are we now, Justice Mchunu? We're in a situation where he has already done the appointment of Minister Mantashe. So for you to believe the kind of obfuscation that is being given here, you must believe that the decision that he said he will do has come before the one that he says he has already decided. What is that? And so it's really just really insulting the intelligence of South Africans, because you don't call South Africans on a Sunday to listen to you and tell them this, and then you try and do the kinds of shenanigans that we have here. So, and in Mwabe, Justice Machit also dealt with this issue about the public announcement. In a nutshell, what is said in the Mwabe case is that the decision, once the public announcement is made, that's when the decision is finalized. And here we know that the public announcement has been made. So there is no way. That sentence is where the problem is. I have decided to appoint Professor Firoz Kachalia as acting minister. That goes to your question, Justice Mchunu. Because if he had just said, I've decided to appoint Kachalia as minister, there would have been nothing wrong. But if he does that, then what does he do about his friend? He has to make sure that Minister Mchunu gets his salary and bodyguards. And that's why the whole obfuscation and myopia that you see here, and constitutional breaches. So that's the second decision. As I say, we don't need to spend time. That one is self-evidently just illegal, irrational, not empowered, ultra-virus, whatever and not in the interest of our people. So it covers it ticks all the boxes.